Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. How are you? Let's just wait for everyone to join. Whilst we do that, I'm going to invite our guests. Evening, everybody. Just one moment as I get our guests to join. Hello. How's everybody? Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I've got Peter and Pumelele on this live. We'll just allow more people to join. But thank you so much, ladies, for being on standby. I'm very excited about this discussion. So, and I mean, I've been getting messages from people saying how excited they are to just listen to your story and
Wow.
to hear. I mean, I think they're going to be gobsmacked. Don't freak out.
Oh my
I've had the great pleasure of getting to know a little bit more about your story. So I can't wait to share it with everyone. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. Just a little bit of housekeeping. Please put your questions in the question box as we chat. So when if a question comes up, please just put it in the question box. And what else do I need to tell you about housekeeping? That's the most important part. Uh, and I'm really excited. We're probably going to be on for about an hour. So we'll try and do as much as possible. My lives do tend to go on forever. I know I never look at the time, but I don't want to keep you from your lives and to carry on with your families. So thank you, and I think we'll get on. People will join us as we carry on. I must say, I mean, this conversation really brings me a lot of joy because one of the things I do in my daily life is to talk to entrepreneurs and to mentor entrepreneurs. And, even if sometimes someone just wants to bounce off something from me because they're just stuck, they've been trying and stuck somewhere. It gives me great pleasure to talk to entrepreneurs, but to talk about a business that has been funded by the MRC is something that I'm really, really excited about. I am doing this because, by the way, I used to be board of the MIC. So this is not something that we're just talking about. It's something that actually is live. And these ladies are a live example of this initiative. So I was quite happy to lend my voice. You know me, I like to plug you people. I like to plug you with things that matter. So we will get some of the logistics out of the way, which is do not be scammed. I'm not in trading, so I always have to do this disclaimer. And if anyone uses this opportunity to scam you, just know you don't have to pay anything. But they might act like this is such a big deal, you must pay a fee to no, you pay nothing, so don't get scammed. And ladies, I think we should get going. But I want to tell the audience a little bit about the initiative. So Mine Workers Investment Company has an initiative called Khulisani Ventures, which started last year. That was the first window. And the aim is to really close a gap that they saw in funding for entrepreneurs, but not just funding, in just support for entrepreneurs at large, particularly early stage funding. But the other part of this equation is that early stage investors, black owned early stage investors, are few and far in between. So MIC, being a black owned company, decided that they are going to take this upon themselves and help businesses beyond that initial seed funding. So not that, but that early stage where you've started to make inroads, you're starting to make a little bit of money. So it's post revenue, and they wanted to do this because, I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs struggle with access to capital, access to markets, as well as access to skills. So the MIC felt that this is something that they could really step in. I love to see it in action. I'm really so pleased. And I mean, this second round, and ladies, you are going to help our people who want to enter. You're going to give them tips of how you did it, because your story is just incredible. But I mean, I want to let the people know that the second round of funding is 150 million, and they're looking for between 5 to 7 entities that they can fund. And the pot is really about 15 to 25 million per entity, up to 30 million. And it's not just money though, right? And I think that's one thing you've come to experience, that there's the capital part of it, but then there's everything else that you probably didn't even think you needed, and there you're being showered with it. So ladies, let's get on with it, because I'm pretty sure people don't care to hear from Amanda on this one. They just want to hear from you. So tell me, what does Limo Lab do? What's the business model? Tell us, Pumela, shall we start with you?
Sure. Thank you for having us, Amanda. We're really excited to talk to you and everyone today. So Limu Lab is actually an online platform. We provide for the learning of indigenous languages for children specifically. And the aim really is about making sure that kids can have fun learning our own languages. And that happens through storytelling, through animation, through music, and through activities. And at the core of it, for us, it's actually about storytelling. So Limu is a content business, essentially. We want to educate, we want to entertain, we want to influence children and families. And we started off with the online platform.
And I must tell you, I was so excited to see what Limu Lab does. I was like, yo, I have a serious problem with my son. I think a lot of us have that problem, but we don't want to admit it publicly because we're going to get shamed, right? Because what kind of black person doesn't, their kids don't know their language? I'm not Zulu, first, let me just tell you. I'm Xhosa, so. But that's actually intriguing. So the aim is to do what? To get more and more kids to learn the languages, right? Because they go to private schools. Yes, I mean, you find a school where the indigenous language teacher is a peach person, and you're like, how does that work? Especially when you hear how they're teaching them. How does Limu Lab help them? How does the actual model work? Give me an example.
Yeah, so the biggest thing what we found when children are learning languages, so say English, because English is a big one obviously in our market. They learn through having fun. So it's through stories, it's through watching lots of videos, it's through loving all these characters. So using that understanding of the power of story, we've then kind of developed a model where it's kind of the same thing, great characters, great stories, lots of fun activities they can play with, but in the languages that we love them to embrace and to have fun with, and just to speak at a basic level so they can interact with each other.
Nice. Is it in app format or web-based?
So right now, it does bootstrap, so it's web-based, the web-based platform, and the focus has been video and activities. But this is what now we're moving towards the actual vision, which is the app and animation.
Oh, nice. I like it. So how did it all start? I mean, first of all, I am so curious because this business is only 2 years old and you've already been funded. I don't know how you did that, but you're going to tell us. So how did it all start? Where did you two meet?
Well, we met at GIBS. We were doing our MBA, and Limo Lab was inspired by our own personal experiences. I was having the same problem you're having with a child who's not speaking her home language. And I so happened to need a topic for a project I was doing at GIBS. And we were on a drive with the family, and we were brainstorming, and they were helping me, the kids included, and finding a topic. And then we agreed on, okay, what's frustrating us as a family, and the lack of stimulating, interesting content in isiZulu was one of our frustrations. So I chose that as a topic. And
Oh,
Pume and I met at Gibbs. We were in the same syndicate group. So we
yeah.
interacted quite a bit. And in that interaction, I discovered that she has a passion for storytelling and creating content. And we gelled quite well. And our personalities complement each other quite well. So, you know, through many discussions, we discovered we had a lot in common. And one of them is about being African, being proud about being African, and ensuring that our
Yes.
children also are proud about speaking their own languages and about being African. So then we decided, no, let's do this. Let's make a business out of this idea. And that's how me and her got together.
When did you complete your MBA?
In 2020.
2020.
So we started
Ah,
chatting. Yeah, we started talking about the business idea end of 2019, and then
yes.
2020 we just got onto it. We registered and just got going with it. We had no money. Both of us were unemployed, but we weren't, we said we have to do this, and we just got going.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And so what was it about this business that really made you leap? Because I think I mean, first of all, I really love the fact that and I always say this, businesses that are solving a real problem have such longevity, because there's always you are providing a solution to a real problem. But what made you leap into entrepreneurship? Because I mean, you do your MBA, you are highly desirable now as a potential employee. You could have gone back and looked for jobs and be hired and earn big salaries. Why this particular leap? I'll start with Pumela.
Look, for me, I mean, I've always wanted to do work that has a positive impact and influence, right? So, and I've done that throughout my career. And at the point where I was doing my MBA, it was really about kind of figuring out how to step change, not only my career, but my life, really to embrace the freedom that I want, to do the things that I actually want to do, and not just things that I can do. So it was just mentally, I was in a space where I wanted to just change things up in my life, really back myself, and see how far I can take things. So the timing was really great for me. I was ready to take the risk. Failure was not a problem because I'd failed and I'd gotten up. So I was like, why not? Lots to learn and not much to lose. So it was time. It was time.
Once you've reached rock bottom, the only way is out, right?
Only way. It's fun.
I love it. And you, so what was this for you?
Okay, interesting enough, I had tried a few entrepreneurship ventures, and then I decided it wasn't working. This isn't for me because it's quite rough out there. So I decided then to go and do the MBA so that I could actually go back into corporate, right? I thought I'd be more marketable. But during the MBA, I chose the entrepreneur route. And then, then when Pume and I were speaking about this, I thought, why not, man? Let's do this. It's going to be hard. I know what's ahead of me, but let me take a gamble. I was so sure that it was a good idea. And, I thought, let me give it one more shot and see what happens. Yeah.
And what are some of the lessons that you're learning now in entrepreneurship? Because I mean, we're gonna get into the meat of how you got the funding, which obviously ticks just one box. But what I always say to entrepreneurs is that entrepreneurship is more than just getting funding. It's a way of life. It's a lifestyle. It's something that you have to stick it out up to a point where you feel that, you know what, I've given it everything. And if it's not working, there's no shame in going back to look for a job. I mean, that's exactly what I did some years back. I went into my first attempt at full-time entrepreneurship was in 2008. And in fact, it was late 2007, 2008. I had just become a mom and I figured, you know what, I need a little more flexibility. So let me go into business. So I quit corporate. And let me just say, I got clapped proper by business.
I can relate.
And it wasn't even a year. In fact, I was working and I drowned a lot of money. It was tough, but I literally told myself I'm going back to work because I've got a skill set. I'll go back to corporate, get myself a job, lick my wounds, pay my debts back because I had huge debt. I had a 3-year lease that I canceled after 6 months, but the landlord was like, pay up, sissy. And I had, you end up with lawyers' letters, we end up with franchisors' letters, you name it. I had credit card debts out of my nose. I kept trying to fund this business through every means I could find. I emptied the family kitty box in our first year of marriage. So I've been there. I risked it all. So I think that I think that the conversation, which is really what I want others to also hear, is that there is no success without some kind of hardship behind it, because it almost feels like this is what you need to pave the way to the success story. And I mean, you've just kind of started this business 2 years old, and how did you figure that this was the thing you wanted to do, go into MIC and apply for this opportunity?
So, as I said earlier, we bootstrapped our business. So Swiss and I, like you, had emptied everything, any savings, everything, begged and borrowed and worked and then put the money to the business. So, but we knew that what we have out, while it's viable and it's commercial, it's not the actual vision. We were heading towards the vision, and we really want to get to the vision. So we had a long list of funds we were going to go for and grants, and the longest list, and I don't know how many rejections we had from there. But through I'm an entrepreneur, we saw kind of info on MIC, and then you kind of see that the keywords, it's about Black businesses. You see this whole lot of pot of money that they want to give. And at the beginning, I was confused, to be honest, about the mining. So when I went to the site, I was, okay, this mining, they're like, they won't care about technology, they won't care about content or anything like that. Then you look and then it's, okay, no, we found various businesses, including what we do. So it was just, okay, we're in this process of sourcing funding anyway. We're already seeing how comprehensive and how long the process is. What we were saying, just the keywords make sense. They're looking for people like us. So let's just try. Let's just try.
And I'm so glad you did, right?
Yes.
Because look at you now.
We definitely have to get a push.
Just in case people think you are now rich, let's just put that to bed and say they're not.
Please.
The phone calls, Jesse. Into the business.
Because I mean, the way the MIC funding works is that you'll tell us a bit about it, but my understanding is that there's predetermined milestones that you must meet, the commitments that you must meet for you to get, okay, this is the pot that will be allocated to you, but do this first, we release this much. You do that, we release that much. Because I think that's quite important, because it's so easy as entrepreneurs to come into money and you misuse it, and for things that were not meant for the business, but you think you need them for the business, but they actually aren't going to help you succeed. And I think that's what I like about this venture, is that it's more than just the money part. It's also the mentorship, the support. How have you found that? Tell us, Fiso, how have you guys found this process?
The process has really been great. I think from the time you apply online. Okay, when you apply online, you've got to make sure you know your business very well. Because they ask detailed questions. So make sure you know you can articulate what it is that you do. So it's like first impression. So you've got to get it right there so that they can have an interest in your business.
Yes.
And once they see that there's something there, they then will contact you, move on to the next stage. And throughout the process, they are feeding back, and the milestones on this date, we will come back to you. So you're always in the loop. And for the pitches as well, they prepare you. This is what you've got 30 minutes or you've got 3 minutes, and you must make sure you cover this. And they give you feedback, which was very important. And I would say use the feedback that they give you. They're quite good at analyzing your business and saying, okay, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that?
Yeah.
And, take that advice for your next pitch. If you make it to the next round, implement that. And that goes a long way. And they want you to win. So they will try and help you as much as you can, as much as they can. Yeah.
So I think that's actually quite interesting, because so you get the help right from the start.
Yeah.
It's not only when you are inside then we'll start taking interest in you. So you get this back and forth feedback right up front.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as they see that there's potential here, you immediately get feedback. So even if you don't make it to the final round, I believe there's some lessons that you can pick up and implement in your business. Yeah.
Which is very important, because I don't believe in this concept of winner takes all, where only one person must benefit only at the end of the process and others are just kind of like discarded by the wayside. So I'm really glad to hear that. And I mean, some of the and I want you ladies to talk to us about, the one thing that the MIC is looking for particularly is businesses that are innovative. So they're looking for innovation. And some examples that attract them is clearly things around technology-enabled businesses, cybersecurity businesses, internet connectivity, drone services, and many others. But you won't know, I mean, until you take a chance on yourself and apply, right? Because I'm pretty sure you had been rejected so many times. You didn't think, you probably were just so tired. I can tell you, there's one thing I hate more than anything else on earth, just to look for money from people.
Yep.
I just think it strips me of my ego.
Exactly.
Yes.
But you gotta do it. You gotta do it.
And some of the questions that these people asked, I mean, you just think, actually, I swear to God, at the tip of my tongue is always, you know what, I think just leave it. I'm gonna handle this thing myself. Because it's literally like you have to produce a blood sample, right?
Yeah, and then they ask you, to write pages and pages, and you think, is anyone even going to read this?
No, I don't read it. And what has the funding done for the trajectory of your business? Faisal, I'll maybe ask you this. And I think let's talk about not just the funding. Let's just talk about the whole process. I mean, and what you're getting from it. What has it done? And maybe you can give us an example of some of the added services over and above the funding.
Okay, great. So it's definitely had a huge impact on our business. Pumi and I had a vision, and like she said, we're bootstrapping it on our own and borrowing and begging friends to give us in 2000 this month or whatever. But so what it's done is then allowed us to really bring our vision to life, right? So we want to animate, we want to move from the web-based platform that we have right now and have an app, and we want to have develop characters that our kids can relate to. So it's really given us an opportunity to bring our vision to life. So that's really great. And in terms of other added services, it's opened doors in terms of networking and also support and coaching, right? So we've made it into the Grindstone 11 cohorts, where we've already attended 2 workshops where we've talked about strategy, and you've connected with like-minded people, which is really great, and it triggers some thinking. Oh, okay, because you're so engrossed in your own business, you actually sometimes you need an outsider to look in and say, hey, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? So that's that's been really great for us. And the program is about a year long, or 9 months, and already it's having an impact. So I can only imagine by the end of it, I think we will definitely have Limu Lab will be at a different level than what it is now.
Yeah, I actually think what I really like is the fact that, I mean, I've been in business now for, outside of the failure, I went back to corporate in 2009, licked my wounds, paid back my debts. It took me a couple of years. And then 2014, oops, I did it again. I left corporate, got into entrepreneurship again full time, and I haven't looked back. But one of the things that I have found is quite a challenge in business, not just mine, but in talking to other entrepreneurs, is the fact that, I mean, hearing you talk about the fact that you are still evolving the business is still growing, it's so great to have someone or a partner that you can walk with.
Yep.
That really actually helps you and molds the direction that you are taking to help you realize the vision. This is something that a lot of entrepreneurs do not have, because entrepreneurship, the common commentary that entrepreneurship can be very lonely.
Yeah.
Because you sit in some dark corner and you cry by yourself, you figure things out by yourself, nothing is making sense. And and I think this is such an incredible platform. And what I'm looking forward to the most is that you girls also take this forward and you pay it forward and help other people, because there's no such thing as free lunch, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you work so hard for this. It's not free at all.
No, definitely not free.
We completely agree.
And you're so right, Amanda, about having somebody to walk with you, because I think we've had some really dark times. We've had some really dark times, and when I'm really down and out and thinking, maybe not and whatever, she would then say, no, but we can do this, right? And when she's feeling like, oh, I'm drained, I'm really drained. So, we kind of prepped each other up and kept each other going. And, when we succeeded with MSC, we were like doing cartwheels. But no, we crossed the finish line together. So, so I think partnering with the right person makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Do you ever have squabbles?
We have discussions, heated discussions.
That's what we're gonna call them.
We'll have them. Yeah, we'll call them discussions.
Discussions.
But at least no one has walked out on another, so that's good.
Not yet. No. Our marriage is too strong.
Yeah, we're still like this.
What do you think makes it work, though?
I think for me, I think they listen to us. They respect us. They respect the work that we do. They're not coming in as this, because they are a conglomerate, but they're not coming in as a conglomerate. They're coming in as people who really genuinely want you to win. So we feel like, we've got a direct access to people in the team. We really feel genuinely that these people are not just ticking a box. They want they want Phumelela and Swiss to win. They want Limu Lab to win. And I think that makes it work. So when there are squabbles, when we're not really agreeing on something, it doesn't feel like they're against us. We're just trying to let's learn what you are thinking. Let's learn what you are thinking. Let's try and make it work for all of us. So.
And so you tell me what makes it work between the two of you, because every time somebody mentions partnership, I have a small panic attack.
I think
how do you make it work?
I think respect. For starters, respect in our different competencies, right? I know what she's very strong at, so I'll ask questions if I think it doesn't make sense, but I will respect her decision because that's what she's good at. So I've got to respect that, and likewise. And I think we complement each other quite well. So I'm very, let me say, very organized, things must be done like this thing, and yet she's more relaxed, and let it go, fellas.
It'll come together.
So we complement each other quite well. I think that's what makes it work.
And I mean, I think that it's such an important thing to say, because I also get that question a lot about partnerships, and people get into partnerships and partnerships don't work out. But I think if you walk into any relationship with the idea that you want to make it work, and that and in fact appreciate that you are going to disagree, and frankly you should disagree, because that's the strength of the relationship, right? Is the ability to each bring what you bring to the table, which is what forms the union to begin with, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a great example of I mean, we are celebrating Women's Month, so it's a great example of a great conversation, a great business partnership that works. And understanding that it's always going to have its own issues, right? But mutual respect, I like that. So tell me something. Just going back to Khulisani, because I really want our people to walk away with real practical things that they can do. So I think you already touched on it, Fiso, saying that the people must be very clear about their business, because this is actually such an important thing. One of the things that really gets under my skin is when somebody sends me a message that says, I want to start a business, but I don't know where to start. I'm like, I what do you want from me?
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people, and you said it, you said the two of you came up with this concept and you felt this is gonna work. And there is nothing more I can say about confidence in your abilities to make something work. Because ultimately, if you're doubting your own abilities, you might as well just sit on the bench and go back to work. Because out here on these entrepreneur streets, if you don't have that self-belief, that it's almost like a crazy self-belief, right? That you are going to make this thing work no matter how scary it is.
Yeah.
And I think it's so important that you know, I always say people mustn't overplan or overthink things. And from what I'm getting from you, you discussed this, you came up with the concept to solve a real problem, and you were like, let's go, right?
Yeah.
But people like to wait until they have enough money, until they have enough of that, until they have enough of that. And yes, we can't be irresponsible, right? Especially if you have, you know, a family to look after, whatever your responsibilities are. So this concept of just go for it. I think can we just unpack that a little bit more? Because I think a platform like the MIC is most certainly, the kind of businesses they are looking for might be a specific kind in terms of innovation, scalability, the ability to reach other markets. But I think they're actually funding more the entrepreneur, right? They are backing the entrepreneur, because there's so many other businesses out there that could be amazing and affordable, but it is also more to do with really trying to bridge that gap in how Black people, particularly Black women, access funding opportunities. What does innovation mean for you in terms of what you understand the MIC to be looking for? Because I think sometimes people see innovation and they think, oh my gosh, I must be a Mark Zuckerberg, or, you know, Elon Musk, or I don't know, some wonderful African woman who started the first big bank in Nigeria. So it's like people think when they think innovation, they think something that's not reachable or out of reach for them. What did it mean for you, and how can you help conceptualize that in a simple way for people to understand what innovation means?
I think for us, it was, you know, very simple. As an innovation is doing something the way we saw it, presenting something or differently, right? So children and people have been learning languages forever, right? But
yes,
you know, with the current culture, with the current Generation Z, etc., how can we teach them or encourage them to love their languages differently? So innovation for us is just doing simple things. So you can innovate. You don't have to be a rocket scientist or whatever. It can be right in front of you, or like in my experience, your own personal family experience, and think of a different way of solving this problem. And for me, that is what innovation is.
Yes. Yeah. And for you, Sima?
It is that it's a, I mean, like you said, we always see it as this humongous thing it's just we're all also different and we think so differently. So it's about embracing that difference and see how you can step change how you do stuff. So
Yeah,
so it's not about downplaying just because I'm the one that feels like this. Maybe it's not worth it, but maybe that is the
yeah,
step change to kind of switch up
yeah,
something very slightly in a business, but that changes the way things are done, that
yeah.
changes the game for your customers. So yeah, like Susan said, it feels like it's such a large thing, but I do think it's much smaller than we think, but makes a big difference.
Yes. And I think that on its own is innovation in how you look at a problem, in how you look to solve the problem. Because
Yes.
just thinking, oh, too big, you might actually distract yourself and talk yourself out of great opportunities because you
Yep.
think, no, this is too big, I can't do it. So it's
Yeah.
about just bite size your thoughts in terms of what is practically going to make the most impact in people's lives and how you
Exactly.
can scale that. I love that. I think that there's let's say people worry about, oh my gosh, what if I fail in business? But what if you succeed actually? What if
Exactly.
so even that on its own is innovation. Because we all come from backgrounds or we wired to fear entrepreneurship and going on your
Yeah.
own because, oh my gosh, it's such a no, it's not pain all the time. There are tough times, yes, but they're actually really rewarding times as well. And I always, in fact, I am an entrepreneur once, and I was saying, we like to catastrophize entrepreneurship. It's tough, yeah, but I don't think it's more tough than in a corporate job. I actually think you're safer in your own. Because
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get political here when it comes to corporate. What I've found in entrepreneurship is the ability to own my destiny. And and
Yes.
honestly, now that I've found that, now that I've tasted it, it's inconceivable to me how I can lose that. What keeps you awake at night? And we're gonna move to the next question, but I'm now just so curious. As two fresh entrepreneurs, what keeps you awake at night? I'll start with you, Spume.
So sure, okay. For me, it's the kind of the when I can't actually say the word, but I've always heard that when your dreams come true, it's actually such a big, it's a mind. I won't say the rest of the word, but it
Yeah,
does kind of twist.
that thing.
Because like, oh, okay, this must happen now, and it just feels so big in terms of what needs to happen. So it's
Yes,
things like that is just kind of trying not to overthink. Like you said, it's about bite size. Trying not to overthink the scale of what we want to do. What keeps me awake is
yeah,
trying to think how we're going to find and keep lots of customers, like a lot of customers. How
yeah,
we're going to make sure that the actual purpose of the company comes to life, that kids are running around speaking all our languages and they're all
yeah,
multilingual and they all have fun with it.
yeah,
And also people, hey, trying to find the right people to actually build our business with us is also, it's those
yeah.
kind of elements that are kind of constantly playing pretty much every day. Yeah.
Isn't it, it's physical, before I come to you, isn't it interesting that we all want these dreams to come true, but when they do, a lot of us, our dreams find us unprepared, right? Because it's like, oh my gosh, I
Yes.
suddenly have what I've always prayed for, and a lot of people can't handle that. A lot of people find it overwhelming. And I think it's such an
Yes.
important thing to mention when it comes to entrepreneurship, because honestly, you literally, because you don't stumble upon your dreams. You've been working for them.
No.
You've been working towards it. Then it is suddenly, and then
Then it's here.
now the world, right? Because dreams are always that thing that we chase. We're always chasing the dream, and then suddenly it's staring you in the face, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
What
what's
now? What?
next now, right? I
Yeah.
love it. It can be scary, and I think this is the greatest thing about having the additional support within this Khulisani platform, because you talk to business coaches, you talk to people who will help you kind of like remove, like what do they call it, the deer in the headlights.
Yeah.
They kind of remove that blinding element of it, right, so that you can see clearly as you forge
Yeah.
on forward. And for you, Sfiso?
Okay, it depends what's happening around me, right? So what used to keep me awake at night was, okay, where are we gonna get this money, right? That what's gonna, we've got this vision, we know it's a good thing, it can work. So that did used to keep me awake at night, is how we're going to actually make it work from a financial perspective.
Yeah.
And now of late is, okay, now we have the money, or we have the resources.
Yes.
What do we need to do to bring it together to make it work, right?
Yes.
Who do we need? We're making sure we're choosing the right people. So even in the selection, when you're interviewing, am I choosing the right person for this role? Because
Yes.
if they mess up, I'm a small business, I really can't afford anyone to mess up right now, especially at this critical stage of the business. And also just the excitement, sometimes in the middle of the night, I'll think of an idea and I quickly write it down and then go back to sleep, because I'm worried I'll forget about it. So I think, at this stage, it's more excitement.
Yes.
A mix of excitement, a mix of worry, but it's a good sleeplessness, if I may put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, now that you've secured the bag.
Yeah. and the thing is, right, when the money actually comes in, this is when the work really kicks in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the roughest part.
The work goes up a notch, because now you've got no excuse for not delivering, because you have
and I think that's also the conversation around your dreams coming true, and now having to kind of live up to the dream and deliver to the dream. Because I mean, I remember in my first year of business, I had I secured a client that paid us, upfront for 6 months worth of work. And I mean, literally, they were funding our business through that. But I didn't, literally, that's when my sleepless nights started. Was oh my God, I'm taking the bag now. I need to deliver, because now you have nowhere to hide. You can't make excuses. You have this obligation. So on the one end, it's like, oh my gosh, this is a dream. This is like, what a gift. On the other, you feel like, oh, I've just shackled myself like proper. So I think that it's a constant balancing act of dreams and living up to them and delivering on the dream. But the one thing you've both mentioned is around people. And I can tell you that it doesn't change much. I'm going to go into the comments box shortly, but if you have a question, guys, please remember to pop it into the question box. We're going to answer, the ladies will do their best to answer that. But the part about people does not change. It's going to be a challenge. So one of the things I've come to reconcile within myself, all of myself, me, myself, and I, is the fact that talent in your business is a continuous effort. It is not a once-off. I mean, I've had people in my business who've been with me for 8 years, or since I started running the business, and at some point people move on, right? And the point is that you just have to be prepared for constant management of talent. That's why it's called talent management.
Talent management, yeah.
You don't just acquire once. You acquire, you upskill, you manage, you exit, you manage, you acquire some more. But the one thing I want to tell you is that there's probably never a better time to make the mistakes. So, Sifiso, you're saying, it keeps you awake at night, that at the stage, you've just been given this opportunity, you can't afford to mess up, you want to make sure the right people are onboarded. Pretty much like talent management, mistakes will happen in the business throughout the course of the business. In fact, for me, what innovation is the ability to allow people to make mistakes, because where you are making mistakes, you are probably succeeding faster, or you are learning faster, you know. And instead of all those years of built up this and that, and only there it's like, okay, oh, I made a little mistake. No, you don't want comfort in your business. And I don't get the sense that you ladies came up with this whole notion of this innovative business just to be comfortable. So you are in a world of mistakes.
Yeah.
And we're learning from them.
Okay. So,
Yes,
so
definitely.
it's just a preparation to get into the zone of how do you build an organization that allows for mistakes to be made and encourages the learnings from the mistakes, rather than a don't make a mistake, because even you make a mistake, right?
Yep.
I mean, one of the things I hate the most is documents with spelling errors. Like I have if I receive a document that I must read from my team, and it's got a spelling error. So if I see a spelling error on the first paragraph, I can't continue with the reading. Like I have this, like my mind just shuts down. So in my business is well known, spelling errors are just unacceptable. But guess what? Sometimes I will send a document that has a spelling error, and I want to hit myself to the curb because you can't do this. But anyway, so anybody that's interested in what we're talking about, and applying for funding from the MIC Khulisani Ventures, you can go to the website. It's khulisani.mic.co.za, or just go to the mic.co.za. And also, I will upload this video when we're done. This live will be available on my feed when we're done. So let's take some questions quickly, ladies. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
I know you are terrified.
I forgot to add. To add, Amanda, that one of the things that keep me awake at night is that I'm very much a background person. I like to work behind the scenes, and I think we're Pume and I are both like that. So I think being suddenly thrust into the into the social world has been like, ooh, okay, but yeah, it is what it is.
But you're doing fine. You're doing fine. Because that's a price you have to pay for learning along the way, is that you must share it with others, right? Because what's the point of lessons if you don't share them, right?
Absolutely.
So you are doing fine, ladies. You did very well.
Thank you.
So there's a question here that says, does MIC fund early startups? So this particular conversation we're having, it's not startup, so it's not seed funding, but it's early stage, so post-revenue. So the Khulisani Ventures window 2 that we're talking about is about funding early stage businesses. So not an idea, we are just starting. And I think once you go through the process on the website, it will guide you in terms of what you're looking for. So there is a presentation on the website that really is so crystal clear in terms of what they are looking for. So, and I know that I've got the people from the MIC on this live, so they can also just write a comment if there's something I've misread or missaid. Okay, wait, let's see. Yes, thank you, Oren. Not a very early stage or seed, no. It's focused post-revenue. It must have been in operation at least 2 to 3 years. So I got that. Thank you, Oren. I'm so glad I got it right. Yes. Okay, this one says, how long must the business be in operation? I think we've already answered that, 2 to 3 years. And this, the rest of it says, when accessing bank statements, do they want to see big figures? Because really, we're just starting, the figures aren't huge. And I think that's maybe a great question for you ladies is, did you have to be turning over large revenue or not?
No.
So what is large really? It's so
Yeah.
relative. That's the issue
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, and I want to almost like have a follow-up point to that question, because I think
Yes.
that you must know, and I'm talking to the person that asked that question and others. Don't get hung up on how much you are turning over, because that's not really what the MIC is looking at. They're looking at businesses that have got the potential to scale, the potential to grow. So fast, high growth type businesses. So don't be hung up on how much you're turning over. The fact that you are turning over something is a great step in the right direction. Yes, ladies, I got it right.
Correct. And
Exactly right.
also
Exactly right.
how your projections, they'll ask you for I think is it 3 or 5 year projection. So that must be clear, and it must be clear, and it must make sense, you know. So don't come up with like, I'll make, you know, 400 million in the next 4 years, whatever. It has to make sense for them.
Yeah. Is how are you going to achieve that?
Yes.
Yeah. I also think yeah.
So just a quick thing about the kind of proving traction or proving forecast. What we learned in the process, which we were able to kind of put together as well, is really being clear and understanding your market opportunity. We all, again, the business is growing, so the high potential is not just kind of within the scope of your business. It's market opportunity across the industry or across whatever space you're working in. So when you're able to articulate that, then MIC Khulisani can see, okay, first they understand where the growth can happen, and they know what they need to do to get to that growth. So articulating that is a big part of this pitch process and the work that the application process as well.
And I think that's important to say, because a lot of people think that people must just dump money on your lap, and that's not going to happen.
No.
It doesn't matter who it is, and the MIC is really about changing society through this. But it's not just money that's going to land on your lap because you've got some great idea. No, where have you proven success so far of that idea? However, having said that, the MIC is an investor generally, and if you don't know anything about the MIC, I really would frown upon you if you're trying to get money from the MIC and you haven't done your research on who the MIC is. I just think that's how. so do your work. And this question, if you have a question, put it in the question box. Let's go to the next one. Do they also fund non-profit organizations? Not this particular initiative. So you must be, I think, Oren, but no, not as far as I know. Oren's gonna correct me, but no, I don't think so. You must be making, just one moment. Okay, so there's another question, NGO, NPO. Can people also please go to the website and read up about it? I think it's very clear what they're looking for, and you can also ask questions there. So no NPOs, no NGOs. Okay. When does the second round open for applications? Yo, where have you been?
It's very open.
I've been posting about this. I've been saying so many things. It's soon going to close, and you are asking when does it open? Please go to the website. Check out my posts.
It closes on the 23rd, I think.
Yeah, 23rd. Is it 23rd? Yeah. So, but it's closing soon. Okay, let's answer this question, ladies. What tool did you use to kickstart the business model, and who else did you partner with on execution?
What tool? I'm not too sure. I understand.
Just ask the question again. Just ask the question again. Are you asking how did they build? Because the offering is currently web-based. So are you, and they're working towards an app. So Bev, are you asking okay, they're not going to tell you who they partnered with. Just now you go and ask them to build the same thing for you. So there's some competitive information here that's not going to be shared. But okay, let's move to the next one. Alumni. Oh, okay, I think some of these questions are not for you. Okay, this is a good question. Does the MIC take a share in the business?
Yes, they do. So they're not a debt funder, they're an equity funder. So they will take, they'll take a share.
Yeah. And that is what the MIC does as a business anyway. It's the MIC's business model. Okay. But have you found that has been, because I mean, equity funder, really releasing equity in any business is a big thing, right? But and I think this is where also it's so important for people to know when to release equity. You can't just be releasing equity to every person that's willing to borrow you 1,000.
Absolutely. So when we started, we had said, no, we don't want to release any equity. We're just going to look for debt funding. We were so, stuck on that, right? Until we came across MIC. So we looked at the whole package, right? What are we going to get from releasing this equity? And for us, it made sense because they want you to win because they are now, they have some equity. So it's for their benefit that we succeed as well. So when you look at things, look at it from that perspective, then you're okay with releasing the equity, but it's important that you make sure that you partner with the right type of investor. I think, so don't look only at the monetary value, but look at the holistic value. And also for us, we thought we definitely feel there was an immediate rapport. They got our business, they understood our business,
they got us.
And from a culture perspective, we thought, I think these are the people that we are willing to give equity to.
And I mean, what's the point of holding on to 100% of nothing?
Yeah, exactly.
So you'll have 100%, but do you have a business? So it's I think you've summed it up so well that there's nothing wrong with giving up equity, just as long as there's a mutual benefit. Because if the investor is looking at these kinds of opportunities, there's something in it for everyone, even though of course it's about changing society, but this is a business, it's not a charity platform. So we all have to get real about business. And again, guys, I said, go to the MIC website and just read up about what they're looking for. And they clearly say that there's a really nice presentation. They clearly say that these are the criteria, but there are elements of the criteria that are negotiable. So it might be that they're looking for 3 years, businesses that have been in operation 2 to 3 years, in scalable business model. I think there are elements of it that are quite strict, but there's also flexibility. So we're not going to be able to answer every single question you're going to have here about the process. You still have to take yourself through the process. So you still have to go do your own reading on the website. You still have to go and do your own understanding of what needs to happen. But I think this conversation here was to really showcase that you don't have to be big business to receive funding. You don't have to have all your ducks in a row to receive funding. You don't have to have, you just need to have a vision and a scalable business model and really be solving a real problem. And I think this is really what you ladies have shared with us. So let me pick another question. This one says, are there networking or knowledge sharing opportunities with previously funded businesses? Yes, this is one of them. Ouch, and guys. But I mean, I guess the conversation is particularly for you as Limu Lab. But I mean, you were in the first cohort. You were the first beneficiaries, and I imagine that going forward, you were now in window 2. And by the way, you're not the only company that's being supported, which is picked. We just picked Limu Lab to talk to, and there are other businesses that have been supported. So clearly, there is a cohort of alumni.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will speak your MBA language now. Alumni. All right, let's see. This one says, if an idea is innovative and scalable, can they consider the business or must you strictly be operational? I'll send you to the website. Otherwise, we will be here all night. Okay. All right. Some of these questions is similar questions that have already been asked. Guys, please take yourselves through the process. Limo Lab is not going to answer all some of the questions. The name of the business, these are two ladies from Limu Lab, so that's the name of their business. And I think we are 100% out of time. So before we close off, ladies, please, will you give us literally 2 tips from each of you for the people who are interested in applying? First of all, they still have to do their own work, okay? They still have to do their own research. They still have to make sure that they understand their businesses and that they can speak proudly about their businesses. They understand where the businesses are going. And this is all summary of what you've already said, right? And in terms of their forecast, they need to know how they're going to get. They may not know exactly how, because that could also be part of the process that they get helped with by the MIC, but they have to have a very clear understanding of the vision for the business and where they're trying to take it and what the projections may look like as an initial draft based on what they've already been able to achieve. So what are the other, just give me two top lessons that you've learned through this process and what's going to help them stand a really good chance?
I think one thing that's important is that you've got to prepare. So if you get through to the pitching phase, you're only given, I think, 8 minutes. I think it was 8 minutes. So
it's
prepare,
proper elevator,
yeah, prepare, practice in front of the mirror, practice in front of your family. Don't wing it.
Yeah.
Really prepare for it because you have one shot.
Yeah, nice. It can't get clearer than that. And a lot of entrepreneurs ride on winging it, eh? And the people at the MIC don't play games. They know their stuff. This is what they
don't
do.
play games. And that's a big deal. They don't play games. So they will ask a lot of questions. They will want to know the detail. They want to know your thinking. So we're not always going to get things right, but they want to know your thinking and really know who you are, why. Back yourself up, know the value that you are bringing, because they do back people as well. They care about the person that they're going to invest in beyond the business. So know that you and what you bring to the table matters, even with your business, So back yourself up.
And I think a lot of entrepreneurs wing it, especially in these. I think there's this cohort of new so-called entrepreneurs who just want to be seen to be successful, but they don't really know what it takes to be successful. I know I'm sounding like such an old country. But the point is that you have to be prepared. You have to back yourself up. You have to know what you're talking about, because it is disrespectful to expect people to sit and waste their time whilst you are just playing games and thinking you just want access to the money. And some because they speak nicely, they think, I know people must listen to me. This is not child play. These people invest in big business for a living. Like, this is what the MIC does. When I say big business, Google them if you don't know. And the point is that you should not be wasting people's time. In fact, first and foremost, you should respect yourself. Because when you respect yourself, you know how to respect other people.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't mean to preach, okay?
It's like everything is coming out now.
Hey,
No, because a lot of people just want things to land on their lap. This sense of entitlement that I get to come across, and I guess my sin is the fact that I'm willing to help people. So some of the things and that I'm accessible, and some of the things I come across, I'm just like, actually, no, you have no respect for yourself. That's why you have no respect for other people, and it can't be that you just want people to land things on your lap. You have to earn it. So go do your research, work for it. It's not going to land on your lap. There's 150 million rands share to 5 to 7 entities or however many that the MIC will feel are worthy of being given an opportunity. And yeah, there's criteria to it, like everything in life. If you don't meet the criteria, learn what the criteria is and try again next time. I'm pretty sure there'll be a third window and. So, but don't think it's just going to happen for you. You must do the work to get on. And I really appreciate that you took your time, ladies, to come and share with us your own experience of how you've gone through it. And I think, Kume, I'm going to let you throw in another tip there, because I think I must have jumped in there and said something that was a bit cheeky. As usual.
Well, I mean, for me, again, it's also, it can be an intimidating process. I know once you've done the work, once you're kind of clear about what you're bringing, don't overthink. Keep it simple. Remember, this room doesn't know your business. They don't know what this passion of yours is. They can probably feel it maybe through what you're speaking, but make sure you can speak the language of the room along with your own language, and somehow it must come together. For them, people understanding you is critical for this process. If they don't understand what you're trying to do, it just falls flat very quickly.
Yep.
So,
and I must also say that you don't need an MBA to be able to do what you say.
Oh, absolutely.
You just need to know your business, right?
Just know your business. Know your people, know your business.
Yes. So give me some parting words, ladies. Some parting words. I want to say I really appreciate you coming on. And I was really looking forward to it. By the way, you already have a customer in me, because I believe in your business. I believe in what you do. And I'm so glad I got exposed to it. I am incredibly proud of you, ladies. I'm proud of the fact that you just went for it. You didn't sit there until the business plan made sense, and you just believed in it and you went for it. And I really believe in building things as you fly them, because you're best in grabbing the opportunity. And I think the important thing that you also said here is that innovation is not necessarily about coming up with something completely brand new. It is doing something differently and solving a real problem, and being confident in that. I really think that's something that really stands out. So what would you like to say in closing? Sfiso, let's start with you.
I would like to encourage any entrepreneur who's feeling discouraged and like, this is not working. If you believe in your business, take a step back, re-look at it, and maybe you just need to reposition it. Also, don't be afraid to ask for opinions from people outside your business, because they will spot things that maybe you're not seeing. And if you really believe in it, carry on with it. And persevere. Persistent and consistent work. I must emphasize that. Persistent and consistent work.
Yeah, and there will be a time for relaxation. There will be a time to enjoy the rewards that come with the hard work you put up in front. So it's not all gloom and work. But up front, when you're still building is about building. It's about working. Then you can get to a point where you can look cute.
at some point
And,
later on.
and you,
For me,
your closing.
just two quick things. So like Swiso said, that consistency really is taken for granted. Being consistent and also resilient through this sometimes very painful process is really something that can kind of get you over the hill each time, beyond your passion, beyond all of that. Yeah, so being
Yeah.
consistent and resilient. And also, Limu Lab 2023 is a very big year with this funding that's coming, obviously. So please look out for us and watch our journey. It's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
I am so happy for you, man. I am
Thank
so
you
happy for
so
you.
much for
I am.
inviting us to share our story. It's been really great speaking to you and, you know, answering everybody's questions. Yeah.
It's my pleasure. I was looking
This
forward
was
to
fun.
it. I think the only way to end this is to say everything that the ladies have said, and I will throw in there a little bit of patience. When I say a little bit, I mean bucket loads of
Yes.
patience. In business, that consistency and building up and knowing that you are on the right track. And when you're unsure, ask somebody who has walked the path before.
100%.
Don't ask somebody who hasn't walked the path before, because I don't know what they have to
100%.
offer to you except negativity. Except they might say to you, I give up this thing. I don't know why you even started it.
Hey,
So,
hey.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Because people give you advice from their own perspective. So it's important to be so to have so much conviction in what you do. Because I think this is what people like, this is what platforms like the Khulisani Ventures is looking for. People who have got conviction in what they're doing. People who know without a shadow of doubt that what they're doing is going to make a difference and they will be able to scale it. And I think there's no better closing remark than that. So be patient, keep doing the right things, and the right stuff will come. And know your business. Know your business. That is so important. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And enjoy
Thank you,
the rest of
everybody.
your
Thank you,
evening.
Amanda.
Bye. Thank you, everybody. Okay.
Good night.
Take
Good night.
care. Thank you for your time and thank you for the insights.
Good night. Thanks.
Anytime.
Good night.
Night, everybody. I'm gonna save this to my feed, and you can watch it at your own time. And feel free to share it with great pleasure. I hope that you were encouraged, because these are young ladies doing amazing things, and they didn't have everything figured out up front, so they just went with it, and they're now really starting to reap the rewards of that initial bold step. So, hey, listen, take a chance on yourself. What if you succeed? Hey, what if you succeed? Thanks very much, everybody. Good evening.